folks, we'll call the special town board meeting to order Monday, October 20th, 6 p.m. located at W1125 Highway 106, Palmyra Town Hall, Palmyra, Wisconsin. Certification of compliance with open meetings law, yes, it's all been complied with. Roll call, Martins?
Here.
Gasky?
Here.
Sauter is here. Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Apologize up front for having my back to the crowd, but to see the screen we have to do that. So feel free to throw things at me if you want.
That's your best side.
Probably. Thanks, Lance.
Okay,
I would deny you.
number one, continued workshop for 2026 budget year. Any and all town budget matters may be discussed during this workshop. Pending fire and EMS contract with Village may also be discussed. Action or direction regarding fire and EMS agreement and or budget items to be taken, including discussion of possible action relating to approve resolution to exceed the levy limit via a special electors meeting. Additional budget meeting dates may be set. All yours, Josh.
Well, when we parted ways last time, had continued conversation with Michelle about these payment in lieu of taxes. If you remember, this was like 26,000 some change, and worked with Michelle and more or less came up with the info needed, which is indeed that it's 15,200, not the 26 plus the 11. So revised numbers for 2026 are on the far right side, generally representative of expected revenues. And that leaves us kind of with our next order of business, I guess, when we go.
I have a question.
Yep.
Okay, so that 11,000 that comes in,
Mm-hmm.
is that including the sale of the Kincaid property in DNR?
Between the 11,165 and the 4135. This number
Yeah.
and that one.
So out of the DNR, we get a lousy $15,000-$16,000 a year is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it won't record in the township.
What'd you just say, Frank?
We only get $15,000.
Well, if it was 14,000 in '23 and 13,000, 14,000 in '24, why is it only 15 this year, 15 something, if they bought all that property? Shouldn't it be quite a bit higher than basically the same as the last 2 years?
Well, I mean, if we want to do it this way.
And my question isn't necessarily directed at you guys, it's directed at the DNR. I mean, that was a lot of acreage they bought out there. Shouldn't that raise substantially what they
Well,
owe us?
you would think buying 1,866 acres, I believe, would do something.
It's $1,200 in tax.
Really? That's it?
Oh, I mean, that's.
So the town gets screwed.
Well,
Kincaid makes his money, the DNR gets their land, and the town gets screwed. Am I wrong?
I didn't say you were wrong.
No, I know.
That's why I'm chuckling.
So anyway, okay, move on from that sad news to where you were going.
So where we are when we left last meeting, we put the $450,000 number in for fire and EMS, which was the last that we had seen from a town, or I'm sorry, a village budget.
Did we really see 450, or was it still 488 and we just heard it was 450?
No, it was in their budget worksheets
Okay.
with 450 from us in it.
Well,
Continued conversation, I think it was Monday, I talked with Paul, and then on Tuesday again, and I spoke with Lori today. They are having a budget meeting.
right now,
As we sit, and
$5,000 less than we started out with.
Yeah, correct. So, that puts us, right now, again, we did some, I'm gonna take these out. Because this kinda does change some.
Well, I don't know that we should leave the 383 in there, because we don't know what other terms come with that.
Well, the monetary figure's gonna be 383.
Right, but if they come back, I mean, if that's what you guys wanna go with, that's fine. But if they come back and have no limits on what they can raise 27 to, well, then that's gonna,
I think that would come down to more contract.
oh, no doubt about it,
Negotiating then.
but what I'm saying is, if we don't have some type of limit on how much 27 come up, we might not be willing to accept that, right?
Comments, Josh, on that one?
I
I'll tell you what,
mean, go ahead.
we've been battling this for how many months? I don't like to see that figure any more than anybody else does, but since 2020 to now, the inflation, well, obviously we knew it was going to go up. Everybody else's,
No denying that.
I just came back from meetings, folks, for 2.5 days. Everybody's fire contract's gone up.
Not that much. Jefferson's going up to 270.
Okay.
I talked to the clerk.
I'm gonna say this again, everybody's has gone up.
No,
Everybody that I spoke to who's about it, that has anything to do with their jurisdiction, has told me it's gone up. Substantially. 25% over here, according to the fire chief in Whitewater, all their jurisdictions are going up 25%. Talking to the town of West Bend, half their levy goes for fire and EMS, and they're worth 1.6 billion people, township of West Bend. So I'm just saying, this is what I've learned the last couple days, at the beginning of the week. If anybody's got a bright suggestion how to get it back to say 300,000, I'm all ears. But they,
Well, I mean, I'm not opposed to leaving 383 in there, all I'm saying is, that might not be the end number, depending on, we need to be looking at the total contract in total, because it's a 2-year contract, not just what's gonna impact 26. We have a fiduciary responsibility to look at the whole total package, okay? And the way we deal with it is through negotiations. And up, just in the, I hesitate to get started here because I'm gonna stop.
come on in, Penny.
So, I mean, we can put 383 in there, and then if it ends up being more than that, what do? Or we can put more in there and always bring it down.
I don't think it's gonna go up. Because
Penny, do you wanna interject on any figures there? We put 383 in, is that where it's at?
I just walked in, you gotta catch me up a little bit here.
Well, we're,
On,
town portion of the fire and EMS
right,
cost.
that's probably really good.
is that it?
I can't give, that's not, Tim will be coming, but they're in closed session right now, but I would say that when,
Tim's coming here?
wasn't he asked to be here?
I don't know.
Thought so.
Well,
Was he?
I believe he is coming here when they come out of closed session, but I think 383 would probably suffice. That's the best I can say.
and that's what we're hearing, so we gotta work that
And we're not unanimous that that's acceptable to us.
out. Well, it's probably not acceptable to anybody in the room, but it's.
That's not what I mean. Obviously, it's not acceptable to anybody, but we're not.
Part of the hurdle is that we're not gonna have the fire and EMS contract done by Tuesday, which is when we need to have our budget done, so we have to put.
And that's my point. We could always put it in higher and bring it down, right? It's tougher to take it up afterwards, right?
Yeah, but it's not gonna go up, it's not gonna go above 383. You think it's gonna go above 383?
Again, I cannot give you an official answer, but I think if you put 383 in there, I think that would probably suffice, that's the
And I
best I
think
can
we
do.
need to determine our own budget, not outside.
Well, I understand that.
No offense, that wasn't.
No, I,
Wasn't
like I
in any
said,
way
I
directed at
cannot
you.
speak officially for the village.
Okay,
And until we see a firm offer back from the village, we can't make any decisions, final decisions. Is my point, because it's a 2-year contract, not just for 26.
I understand that, and right now, we're looking at next year, 26.
Obviously.
So, you know, I talked to Tim, he said 383.
Well, that changed.
They're up against the same, I shouldn't say the same, different battle, similar battle in their levy limit, and they've got another piece that we don't deal with, which is the general fund expenditure restraint, and they legitimately are at a ceiling where they cut the fire and EMS budget down to a point where they would be able to afford their 51.1% or whatever the calculated percentage came out to be.
Well, if
So
we put
anything-
firm fixed numbers in there, we don't need that formula, right?
Yeah, you're 100% correct. Well, just to,
For tonight, we
like,
need to leave.
unless we've got a meeting with the village and we get through the rest of this, like, we need to make some general direction decisions and figure out what we're gonna put in there for the number, because at the end of the day, again, where we stand right now, there's still some things outstanding, we don't know how much it's gonna snow. Tree service that I can unhighlight, because that was from last meeting, you know, so there is a potential, again, if we don't draw, which we can do this game, not game. We have left taking that out. If we drew the entire 84 that's left in the line of credit, debt service for next year ends up being that amount, which means we've got 69 to apply into 2026, so we can put 69261, and we're still battling the same issue that we're short. So, you know, we're kind of to the rock and the hard place at the moment, and
So, excuse me, so people, here's where we're at. We have to do a resolution either tonight or we have to do it Monday night. Because everything has to be posted by the end of the day on the 27th, correct? We have to have it posted.
so, yes, Michelle also did some more correcting for me, because I was in the mindset of the annual electors meeting where it has to be published in the newspaper. The budget, a special electors meeting does not have to be published in the newspaper, so it does cut us an extra couple of days, but not a whole lot, because we still have to have it up 15 days prior to the public hearing.
And when's that hearing again?
13th of November, I believe. If that's a Thursday, yep, 13th. So, realistically, call it the 28th. If we post in 3 public places and on the website, that satisfies the statute requirement for posting. We don't have to put it in the paper, which we have not in the past. We've posted the annual in April in the paper, because you have to, but
So it's not necessary for the resolution, right?
it is not, and quite frankly, I would recommend that we don't, because between all of the fun and games and travel and changes and everything else, I have not had a chance to sit down with Michelle to cross what this 4-place decimal percent would be if we request an exceedance, but I think a general going away message from the meeting tonight would be, are we going to ask for one? Or are we not?
general way, are we gonna do it, yes or no?
Yeah.
We don't have the figures yet though for it.
Correct, well, I mean, all of this is gonna be dependent on 383. If it's 382, 600, that number changes everything as far as what the calculation would be. So if we're lucky enough that somebody from the village comes tonight and we have generally a firm understanding of where that number is, either through our requested change or through their budget process, we can stick that number in here. Then we know what the hard number is here. Again, this is taking into account that we take the last of the letter of credit that we still haven't yet, and more or less apply it to the fund balance in 26. We're still short, call it 26.5 grand, and I would suggest we do something like, whoops. Like that. And reduce what we got in tree service, and we've got a balanced budget. We don't ask for an exceedance and we move forward.
So what do we do if all of a sudden we have another tornado or bad storms, a lot of snow? Where does the tree service money come from? If we're not, what about an emergency? What do we do?
Fund balance or borrow.
Well, the fact of the matter is, people, we can't let the town go to hell because that's what's gone on in the past here. That's why we're in the position we're in. You know, if some of you were here the other meeting or two ago, Josh mentioned about all these trees he marked, 144. Well, they started going down, and of course I get that call again Saturday or Sunday, doesn't matter which. Great big trees went down on Carlin Trail. That was probably I'm gonna guess a $1,500 or $2,000 day right there. Trees that he X'd that need to come down. So, we have to take care of the town, so we have to run the township, we have to maintain the roads, we have to take care of the trees, so,
Yeah, I'm not in favor of reducing those three numbers.
yeah. I mean, if we go for the levy exceedance or borrow the money, I don't care which, the easiest way and the cheapest on all of us is to pass it on a levy increase, if that's what has to happen. But
Pay as you go or borrow? It's the
yeah,
same
then we gotta
question.
pay the interest on it, so. If we borrowed, folks, I'll tell you right now, we have to pay that off in 1 year, because we need that money next year. The same fire department, 383 for example, is gonna be there. It's not going to get any cheaper. We gotta have the fire and EMS by state statute. And most of us are not spring chickens in this room, and, we want the EMS or something.
Chickens is a bad joke right now.
Oh, no. By the way, they are done hauling all the chickens.
So I mean, that's kind of, in a nutshell, that's kind of where we're at.
That's with the taking the other 84,000.
Yes.
But we discussed
Fund-
leaving
fund-
that.
Fund balance, so this is kind of again where we are at, because the numbers just play through one way or the other. So we've got 91,000 in fund balance. If we don't take any additional line of credit money, we generally go in the hole for this year, right? So then we take fund balance applied and we go 16,879. So that takes the LGIP account down to 74. This also has to go away because we're not borrowing that. And at the end of the day, this number changes by a few grand. I would have to go back through the calculation, but we are then skirting 96, which is.
Sounds like we have to discuss taking the other 80, pulling the other 84 as well.
Yeah, but we also discussed a meeting or two ago about leaving that there in case there is an emergency.
It's one way or the other.
Depends if you wanna go for an exceedance for 96,000, or whatever the number is once we determine where we're at on fire and EMS, Or if you wanna take the 84 and reduce the levy increase.
It's not, it would eliminate, yes.
They had it down to 26,000.
It will not reduce the levy.
I don't think I meant it that way.
Okay, I just wanna make sure we're on the same page.
So we got the auditor saying we should have 25% of our budget, right, or our, the million, so that 91 should be 250,000 sitting there as a buffer. Am I saying that right? In case something happens?
It's a guideline.
So that's 159,000 short, and auditors are telling us one thing, where we should be. So I sure as heck would not wanna use the 91, that's for certain. Any part of it. Mike, how are you doing?
Good, how are you, Frank?
Is 383 the right number?
What I told
What are you
him,
looking
we
at her now?
cannot-
You're
we can-
collaborating
we
over
cannot
there.
give-
Frank, can we agree to use different terminology? Is 383 the number they're at now, not the right number?
And again, neither Mike nor I can give official comment.
I believe
But I said
the
that-
village president will be coming over when they're done with closed session.
Okay, good.
So if we could use the right terminology.
Okay, that's fine. Well, for now, I think
Accurate
Gary's
number.
accurate number. Could be 383.
From their position, yes.
So for now, we'll just leave it there and find out here shortly whenever he gets here, I guess.
We can, I mean, there's obviously things, we can play the numbers game if we want to, reduce things.
The way you have it right there, right now, with us pulling the other 84 from the prior loan,
Yep,
and the 96,000, well, you have to put the 67 back in, right?
yep.
So once that is, if we're, hypothetically, if we're in agreement, we're gonna pull that 84.
Died?
It did, pretty sure.
If we're in agreement, we're gonna pull the 84, and I'm not saying we are, hypothetically.
Sure.
Is this done now, except for the fire and EMS number?
Oh, we're still short 29 grand.
Yeah, but that could go to, then we'd have another decision of going to an exceedance or not for that amount, or right, on borrowing.
Yeah, theoretically,
But
that,
there's no other numbers that we, if we're all in agreement to leave those three, emergency management, if we're all in agreement to leave those three the way they are, then there's nothing else that's still open. Is that a fair statement? Is that a correct statement?
that would be an accurate statement. I mean, we're pretty much right back to 2022 land, no road work. I mean, we got, again, for anybody who wasn't here, 3 weeks ago, toured Young Road, Little Prairie, Tamarack, Tower, Carlin, and Mill. Now, we've got 142 dead trees in the right of way, standing, that have the potential to fall on the road. That doesn't count the additional 20 or 30 that if they fall over are probably gonna fall not in the road. So even at $500 a tree, which is pretty short, we've got $70-some thousand worth of tree removal to do on those roads alone, much less
Well, yeah.
15 miles. or
I agree. Let me ask you a question. If we continue to kick the can down the road on the roads, based on your research that we reviewed at last year's electors meeting, budget electors meeting, the roads just continue to fail, they get more expensive to replace, and if we keep doing that, we're just repeating sins of the past. When are we gonna bite the bullet and just put a significant amount of road work in there and just do it, whether it's through debt service or budget you talk about, and I agree with you, we gotta keep the town going and stuff like that. Part of that is keeping our roads up. So I think that's a discussion that we need to have.
I agree. electors or something like that. But is there anybody out here who thinks we should not try and take care of our roads in the township? Or the tree problem?
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Reference trees in the road right away, whose responsibility is it supposed to be? I know if they fall in the road, the town has to get them moved out of the road, but before they fall, whose responsibility is it?
Towns.
You mean, if you got a dead tree there, it's right there on the edge on your property. It's on your property now, it's not in the roadway.
Right. Right.
And Penny, hey, you gotta take that tree down, it's gonna fall down, and you don't do it.
But we didn't, no, but I know, I'm just, so,
If it goes, I just went through this,
yep, I know,
legal talk at the WTA, that exact subject was brought up, and the township, the jurisdiction, is responsible to remove everything in that roadway.
in the roadway or the road right?
The road right of way.
Okay,
Cut it off to your fence line, and you take care of the rest of your tree on your property. Just went through that, multiple people asked that question Monday, listened to the answer from the lawyers from the WTA. So that's who's responsible.
okay.
Is every tree that is potential have to be done by Northwest Services and their rate? Have we approached others in the township?
You mean other tree services?
No, just people that own the land, you know, those kinds of things.
I mean, like say if it's your land and it's,
Hey, can you take care of this kind of thing?
okay, are you,
I
insured?
personally am not gonna do that, no.
You know what I'm saying?
But-
You have insurance,
There-
what do they call it, a performance bond, etc., in case something happens, they wouldn't know all that.
Because I know Ed Miller used other individuals to
You
assist
can
him.
check to
He
see if
did
you had
himself.
insurance?
I don't know that information, but I'm just saying that Northwest Services seems to know how to charge this township pretty well. So, and I've had people of concern that maybe their
Well,
speed of
I
doing
think
things,
that's a
but that's a
little, I
whole
think
other.
that's a little short-sighted comment.
I'm just saying, that's
No.
what I've heard.
You've
But
checked
look
it.
at all factors.
No, I'm just bringing it up.
I mean, should we not, but to that point, should we not go out and get official quotes?
Well, I tried,
The big thing is we don't have any friggin' money to fund the removal, so it doesn't matter if Northwest might do it, or M&E might do it, or Beaver, or Cresian, or whoever, like, we don't have any money to take them down, period.
But if they come down, we have to do it.
Correct.
So should we not get a competitive bid
Well, we would have
so that we can put all conversation, stop all conversation about whether Northwest is the most competitive or not? Until we actually look and do it, we're not gonna know that. We believe that's the case, but until we go out there and say, okay, I don't know, whatever, however many trees, give us a quote.
the gentleman across the road, I talked to him, I called Beaver Tree, there was several down in Delavan, Fort, I think that's Beaver Tree, isn't it? Somebody up by Sullivan, I checked with several. One of the big things, folks, that we have to rely on is when I call, like I did, I had to call Bob because a constituent called me about that tree down on Carlin Trail. I immediately called him, 25 minutes later, he's out there taking a picture of what's going on and surveying the thing. They're out there at 1 o'clock in the morning. Beaver Tree won't do it because I asked them, there's nobody that I found that would actually come out and do that kind of work.
But Frank, I'm not disagreeing with you at all, but all of that is anecdotal, okay? It's all, I talked to this person, I talked to that person. Unless we do a formal bid where we say, this is exactly what, you have to be bonded and insured, you have to offer emergency service 24 hours a day, you have to do this, you have to do that, how far down you take the tree, where do you push it, where do you leave, whatever. We have to stipulate exactly what
The scope,
the requirements
scope,
are,
yeah.
and then get that bid. Other than that, it's all anecdotal.
There was one tree service at the WTA conference, they will bid by the road, and we have to come up with criteria, they will do that. Okay, but we talked about that earlier this last year, this does have to do with the budget, obviously, folks. But here's the thing. We've kinda just taken down what we had to take down this year, and how much did we use so far? 37 grand out of 50 budget.
This is,
Mainly took down things that were hanging low.
What does, understand, but what does that have to do with my comment that we need
Okay,
to go
but
out
we'd
for
have,
formal
we'd
bid?
have to come up with a scope of what we want done and send it out for bids. It's very simple. The guy across
That's
the
my
road told
point.
me, I talked to him for,
we're doing the same thing.
yeah, he said, well, he's probably gonna be hired for this, the guy across the road here, but, you know,
And go.
but I'm just saying, I was told, everybody thinks he's that expensive, it's, unfortunately, he's not. So, it's a lot of money.
Fortunately, he's not.
Fortunately, he's not.
But we need to show our constituents that that's actually the case.
But we've not even put a job out there we wanted to bid on this year, have we, Josh? We haven't even come up with one. All we've done is been basically, for the most part, reactive, and we used up everything but, what'd you say, 13 grand or something? So, okay, I agree with you, let's move on.
So, I mean, realistically, the general consensus is, or the general decision is, draw the 84 or not, yes or no, apply whatever would be the fund balance amount after that into 26, yes or no. If it's no on the first part, obviously it's no on the second part. And if that's the case, then debt service or exceedance
I think
request.
you're right, I think we talked last time that we can't make that final decision till we know what the final decision is on the fire and EMS.
Yeah, I mean, that's got a huge piece. When we left last meeting, we were at 450, which is a, what did that not change? Did it? Oh, it did, never mind. Computer's fishing.
Socials
450, yeah, it shows 450, yeah.
No, I meant the number at the top.
Oh,
So, yeah, it's got a huge piece of where we sit.
So is there anything else we can do tonight until we have the number, or a number we're gonna approve?
Yeah, if we're not, I would suggest we don't try to pass a resolution tonight.
I'm totally with you on that.
With that being said, if we're gonna meet on
the 20th.
Monday, Tuesday,
Yeah, Monday.
whatever, Monday, what I would need is what are we going to do with these four numbers, and what then does the request look like, so that I can put that request number into the formula to be able to figure out what the percentages are and work with Michelle on the levy limit worksheet and all that kind of stuff. So I know it's contingent on fire and EMS, and quite frankly, I don't care. Like, we need to figure out if this comes back at 385, if it comes back at 379, I'll make that change, but the guidance from the board on what path are we taking is the important part, so to be able to
Or
establish
325.
Oh, sure. Okay, so the first question is, do we wanna draw the 84, right? That's a question, right?
Yes, so, again, let's go through.
We don't know if we need to until we see what that fire and EMS number is.
No, this isn't this year thing. So if we,
So we don't have to take all of the 84, we could just pull 16, 18, 879, right?
we 100% could, yes. The only thing is that I don't know what that changes that debt service number for 26 to off the top of my head without sitting down and going through it again. Because the day we draw it, how much it is, how much interest it bears on the AP, why all that stuff changes, and I'm not that fluid in a budget meeting. But you are 100% correct. The other piece of it, because we had talked last meeting about just using fund balance, the LGIP amount to balance it. Square 2025. Because we don't know, is it gonna snow 5 times or is it gonna snow twice? Is it gonna snow 3 times or is it gonna snow 9 times? You know, we're making projections for this year, so that's a decision to be made.
Is the 91 just sit in a, like .00001 account?
No, it's, September, I think it was 4.38, I wanna say, 4.3-ish.
Because if it was like our
No,
savings
yeah.
accounts where it's .001 whatever,
There's no,
I would suggest that we take it the 16,000, if that's the number, out of the 91, rather than pay 5 or 6% interest on pulling 16,000 out of loan. If it's basically 6 or 4.5, 4.6, it's negligible difference.
Yep.
So I'd rather keep the 91 in there based on that. Well, that's the other number we need to understand yet.
So really, we're sitting here waiting for Jim to show up.
A little bit, but, I mean, if there's an urge or desire or rejection to doing one thing or the other, we can at least take one step forward.
Okay, let's talk about
I mean, whether it's 16,000 or it's 3,000, not that I wouldn't take 13 grand, but it's a nominal amount that isn't, we're not going from 70 to 4. Difference between those two.
So, do we even really need to talk about the 84 right now then?
Yes.
Well, I don't wanna move the 84 personally. I wanna leave it there in case some.
Well, you don't wanna move the 84, you don't wanna draw the 84, and you don't wanna touch the 91, so it's one or the other.
It's one or the other.
So you've said both.
I have cake, but if you want it,
That's accurate.
Well, then you'd have to take the 84, I'm not.
We don't have to take all the 84, just take what we need out of it, right? I mean, we can always pull the rest of it. Something happens in the second week of January, right?
so here's my own personal opinion on this. We've got not much, but some fund balance. So if we do that, okay, and we just apply what on paper we would project this year, okay?
Are you, okay.
We end up with 74.5 grand left in it.
Mhm.
If a tornado comes through town, if it snows between now and the end of December nonstop and we don't have any money, we're gonna have to address either one of those independent of 84, because if we draw some of it and we're gonna use some of it, this is step 2, but if we're gonna use some of it to balance 2026, it isn't really there in theory. So if we use fund balance and we run into a snowy winter and we end up with 12 snowfalls in December, the 84 then becomes an absolute necessity to use, rather than doing it now and ending up with more fund balance at the end of the year because it doesn't snow. We could use it as a pad rather than applying it on paper now.
So that is saying you would prefer to do which?
Use fund balance to, on paper right now, balance 25. Because we don't know. I mean, we're throwing darts at the wall as far as snow and whatever else, right?
Yeah, it's, for me, either one, it's a flip of the coin. We can't have our cake and eat it too. We have to do one or the other.
So then that helps to clear up a little bit of the picture for 2026, because we don't have the extra fund balance proceeds from debt to apply to 2026, which clears that picture up, which says 96 grand short. I don't know, I mean, even if we cut all three of these, again,
You have to put that 16, whatever it is, somewhere else too, in the lower part, don't you? No?
no, because we're taking it out here.
Okay.
So we went from 91.3 down to 74.5, right?
So that gets us through the rest of the year period.
Yep.
Well,
And then if we're gonna try to balance the budget by cutting expenditures, and we're not gonna replace the culvert where the road's collapsing on Piper, we're not gonna replace the emergency management fund, we're not gonna put anything towards tree removal, we end up 30 grand short. Let's say we're not gonna contribute to Park and Rec, and we're not gonna contribute to the library, we still end up 22 grand short, 23. So, not that it doesn't matter, it is not going to balance the budget by cutting expenditures. It's going to get it closer, and then the question becomes level of service, funding type of thing.
Can we take I'm assuming we can, an option approach to the electors meeting in November, where here's two options, have a vote on which option? We cannot do that?
We have to pass a resolution that asks for a specific thing. Not,
But we can, if this fails, here's what we would do.
oh, yeah, but like the question to the electors is.
Where I was going with that was road work.
Okay,
An option, we put road work in there, and here's what the exceedance request would be. Second option, we don't put road work in, here's what the end result is. Let the town decide if we want to invest in our roads or not.
yes, but I would caution you on that, because right now we don't really have anything, oops, wrong end. We don't really have anything in there for road work.
That's what I'm saying.
So if,
This would be the option where we don't do road work,
yeah,
put road work in there, and obviously there's gonna be an exceedance request associated with that. And-
but if they say no to with road work, we don't have a without road work, because we're still short. That's my point, is that there's, that scenario has got two answers to it on its own, separate from the third, which is balance the budget at
So
some point.
basically there'd be four.
Yeah,
For each one, you have to have
with
the
and
other
without,
option, if this
yes.
fails, here's what we'll do.
Yeah. But we can only ask one question, so we essentially have to get it down to two options, not four. Because I mean, if we ask for 96 grand and they say no, okay. At that point, like, the answer is no, we would have to renotice it, and we don't have enough time. I would have to ask Michelle, because we would have to renotice it 15 days after the 13th, which, let's just play the game, 14th, 1, 2, 3. Black Friday. And I think she needs to have the stuff to the county on the 3rd.
And that's Good Friday.
Good Friday.
No,
that's
sorry.
That's in the Easter season.
It's
Can we still throw stuff, Rick, or
been a
no?
long day.
Can we still throw stuff or no?
Sure, go ahead. What the hell am I talking about?
Had me wondering.
That was
So-
inaccurate.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much gotta solidify it down to
well, we need
and
them,
answer.
we need them to take the 16 grand out of the township GIP. You in agreement with that?
As far as it goes, yeah.
We'll take that.
But would that change depending what else happens between now and Monday? No? Okay, so that's not impacted by what ends up being the fire and EMS. Because fire and EMS is 26. And I'm fine with it.
So you wanna-
It may go down to some. No, I mean, this is the next iteration of the budget draft, it's just one step closer, I think.
Right,
Um,
next question.
What are we gonna do about Red 96?
Red 96.
Shortfall.
Oh. We can't decide that, because we don't know where we're gonna end up, is my opinion. Today we can't.
Like you said, you can change that.
I-
Well, we have to go for, if it's 96,114, we have to go for the levy exceeds from 96,114. Because we have to take care and maintain the township, that's with no borrowing roads or anything, right? It's still with the trees at 50 or whatever.
Yeah, 40. Well, I can see
40?
So we've got 40, we've got refund, oops. Sorry.
If we were gonna do road work, how much would we wanna do? What would be the number?
I mean, at this point, to be honest with you, I have not measured any roads in the last month and a half when we started 280 grand in the hole. I just didn't anticipate we were gonna be,
I mean, back when we were talking about it last year, we were talking about 250,000 a year, right?
yeah,
So what would 250,000 do to us, hypothetically?
all you'd be.
I mean, it's gonna make it ugly, I understand that.
Oh, for taxation? Yeah, I mean, so, okay, so this goes back to the philosophy of doing the work that's equivalent to 250 grand, or trying to pay for 250 grand with the road work in one year. With 250 grand, we could pave Hoover Road, west to E, and we would still have, we would still have $100,000 worth to do chip sealing, crack fill, whatever, which is quite honestly a lot. So, you know, the converse of that is if we had talked about, instead of trying to pay for paving work up front, because the lifespan of the pavement's gonna last more than 1 year, is to spread it out, so you could do Hooper Road on a 10-year note for 30 grand a year over, you know, over the duration of the loan, over a 5-year loan. So again, like the iteration of, are we trying to get $250,000 worth of road work done every year? Or are we spending 250 grand a year? Cause it's kind of, it's the same thing but different, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You could-
are you fixing it as it comes up, or are you putting a plan out there to fix it? Same like with the trees and, that we had discussed doing a forward plan as opposed to just when they fall down.
Which is why I went out and got the 7-8 miles, so I did that again, so.
Come on up, Tim.
Okay.
I kind of filled him in on what had been discussed.
So, we had a little budget meeting. I'll stay out of the camera shot here, so.
Can't, I'll get you no matter where you sit.
Okay. As it stands right now, I'm just gonna read, Lori kind of gave us a little synopsis of her presentation, but, if we're to go with the contract as presented, that was approved by the village board on September 4th, and we keep with the equation that we pretty much tentatively agreed with, which was the three-pronged thing: population, calls, and tax
Equalized value.
equalized value. that would come up, the town version, or town percentage would be 48.9, the village 51.1. So if we take the expenses, and this is down from what was originally done when we first started the process, and Lori or Penny we kind of talked about putting together like a bullet point of this is our starting amount, and worked our way down saying this is what we've cut over the last few budget meetings. So right now, the expenses for the fire and EMS portion is $957,395. So she subtracted all revenues except the town and village amounts and got to $767,870. So you take the 48.9 and the 51.1, the town share would come out to $375,488. The village's share is $767,870.
What was the
Say
second
that.
number?
Sorry,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wait a second.
no, it's.
No, 382 is
What are the two numbers? The first number was what?
the,
For us, it would be what again?
375,488.
so that would be the town portion, the village portion would be 392,382. So it's significantly less than what we started with, so.
Is it flat for 2 years? I can't remember.
No, that's the 2026 budget,
So what's 27?
whatever the budget's gonna be in 27.
Different, I think a different conversation.
Okay,
Absolutely.
right now, so,
Related to the
yeah.
contract.
so what we want,
Cost of service.
And will we be getting that formalized and sent to us as a formal
Oops.
offer? Lack of a better term?
Well, when we approve the budget, then, those numbers will be firm, but as it stands
Well,
right
that
now.
doesn't mean we're accepting it, so.
Well, that's up to you guys to discuss amongst
Right,
yourselves.
so in order for us to move it forward on our side, we need a formal response with that in writing with those numbers.
we'll use those numbers, Tim, for now. This is it?
Yeah, that's what Lori gave us this evening.
It's in writing.
It's in writing,
So you could have just said, here, I have that for you.
Well, but that's not in the contract.
but it's not in the contract, but that's the,
Using the
And
calculation.
if you approve the contract as, the wording that was approved by us, those are the percentages.
Yeah.
Those would be the breakdown of the monies as the budget is.
But we also need feedback on which language,
Different, it's not part of the budget.
Yeah, it's not part of the-
and we need to have a meeting on that. Because we can't accept this for the budget until we resolve the rest of the contract.
I don't disagree, I'm just saying, for
Right.
numeric standpoint.
Right now, you're gonna use that.
So,
That's good, Tim, we appreciate it very much.
you're welcome. So, I did what I promised I was gonna do to you, or promised what I was gonna present, so.
Thank you.
So hopefully that helps you with your numbers a little bit.
And it does.
We're still short, but
And we're
Significantly short.
we're close ourselves, so it's, our meeting on Monday gets to deal with, legal stuff for the police union and our insurance for health, and, so we haven't gotten those final numbers yet, so.
that sounds fun.
Oh yeah, that sounds like lots of fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, thank you, have a good evening, everyone.
Alright. Oh, we didn't shoot messenger, so we'll start. Oops, that ain't right. Use brain, Josh. So, now it's 88,602. What color did I use? Thoughts? My greens don't match, sorry. So, I guess, what's this? Yeah, it's the election machine.
One more time on the, those three lines are showing, right there, right?
These guys?
Why even put 10,000 in for highway construction? That seems like,
Well, that's not,
That's Piper, if we ended up replacing the culvert on Piper that's got the hole in the
that's our
top,
half.
that would be our half, yeah.
Have Cold Springs agreed to pay half?
they wanted to get it done now, but we're not doing it this year, what, that's another thing.
Have they agreed to pay half?
Oh, yeah,
Verbally,
yeah,
so, semantics if you would, but, or anecdotal, sorry, that was the word we were using before. But they generally have said that.
so the other thing too is you do mention roads. I'm assuming this gentleman's working with Jewel on these two, grant issues, and one being Piper Road. Best chance of getting a grant, folks, is, just went through this one and Tuesday again, when there's joint jurisdiction. So, we discussed, Zion, I believe at our last meeting, right?
Yep, Zion and Piper.
Right, and, Zion from Pine to CI, well, the last, I'll call it 500 feet is in Sullivan. I got a hold of the town chair there, let's get her done, Frank, so they're all in favor of working on it, but when you have something with joint jurisdiction, it moves to the top of the list, instead of just like Island Road,
So
Marsh Road.
can we have Jewel write one up for us to apply for Hooper Road as well? Even though it doesn't move to the top of the list, because it's not a joint one, at least we're applying for grants to do it. We may not get it, but we won't get it if we don't apply.
Or you can do it.
Yeah,
You wanna do it for that?
maybe we could. I just don't know if we got traffic counts out there.
Or did you do it on Zion?
It's supposed to be this week. I haven't talked to Derek, but
Okay. Okay, well, we're trying.
so obviously if we were to be awarded Piper, that 10 grand would come, well, it wouldn't really come out. It could come out for 2026, or be used for something different. And then depending on if it's supplemental or discretionary, it's either a 90-10 or a 50-50 grant. So it's more advantageous obviously at 90-10, but
I
we
mean,
wouldn't know
but-
until.
Shouldn't we, every single year,
It's
apply for as many grants as we
You
can?
can only do it in odd years.
It's 2 years.
Which makes it even more important to apply for Hooper, even if it's not a joint one, makes it even more important because we can't apply again until 27. So if we're not gonna have the funds to pay for 100%, we need to do the,
Well, we're trying, that's the whole idea.
well, we keep saying that, but unless the board makes a decision, yes, let's make an have Joel do an application for us for Hooper Road as well, we're just talking about it. Right?
Or he could just do it himself, right, John?
Yeah.
That's
and
putting
in-
burden
in-
on Josh.
And amongst the next 14 days of my life, yeah, I could.
Sorry, Josh.
I did talk with, or I emailed Jill today, and he said he didn't need anything else from me at this point for the other two, so.
Boy, I'll tell you, we talked about, you mentioned ambulance going down the road, school buses, everything, you know.
Yeah.
Do we need a motion
Electric
to-
school buses.
Yeah,
Do we need a motion to agree on applications?
he can just do that. He could do a grant for every, that doesn't cost us anything, Rob.
My point is,
We just gotta be able to fund it. That's kind of the, call it hairy scary part of the whole thing. Is that if you end up with a $500,000 road project and it's 50-50, we gotta come up with 250 grand if we're actually gonna do it. So there's a, like.
would
yes,
Hooper be 500,000?
No, it's 150, maybe.
Yeah, that must be
75.
130. And